This episode, I'm here with Grant Cardone, the GOAT of sales. Today, I'm here with Mr. Grant Cardone. Welcome to the show, man.
Always good to be with you. However you do things is how you're going to sell things. When's the last time you spent some money? Man, I hadn't spent money in 2 years. Dude, I would never hire somebody that hadn't spent money in 2 years.
Right.
If you're operating out of scarcity, you will sell out of scarcity. Most salespeople's biggest problem is they're not money motivated. How do you feel good when you know you could make 5 and you stopped at 980? The goal should not be to sell your product. The goal should be the person you're selling to should want to hire you.
Everyone wants to be great, but only few actually get there. And I'm on a mission to find out what all the greatest have in common. I've traveled tirelessly to find, sit down, and talk with GOATs, people that are arguably the greatest of all time at what they do. Sales, marketing, advertising, business, podcasts, branding, you name it. The way they do things may be different, but they all seem to see the world the same way. To them, success is not only achievable, but inevitable. And we'll get inside their heads as they share their expertise with me each week. My name's Mike Arce, and this is The GOAT Show. This episode is sponsored by Agency G.O.A.T. Starting a digital agency was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. Building it, however, was a lot more challenging than expected. I always wish someone just gave me a roadmap that I could follow and let me be a fly on the wall at a successful agency so I could just see how it's all done. Agency G.O.A.T allows you to do just that. Stop playing small and visit agencygsd.com to learn how to help hundreds of clients get it to 7 figures and be extremely profitable along the way. Again, go to agencygsd.com. Also sponsored by Video Podcast Producers. You know, a year ago, I never imagined sitting down and spending an hour with each GOAT that I interview on this show, whether it's Russell Brunson, Grant Cardone, Ken Shamrock, Lewis Howes, Ryan Dice, or the many others I've been able to sit down with. They didn't know who I was at the beginning of 2017, and to be able to sit down and learn from these guys and share it all with the world has been incredible. There is one secret behind how I got here, and that is video podcasting. So if your goal is to be an influencer in your industry, then this is definitely one of the fastest ways to get there. Check out Video Podcast Producers at startavideopodcast.com and become the influencer that you know you should be. Again, that's startavideopodcast.com. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Arce. Welcome back to another episode of The GOAT Show, where we interview people that are arguably the greatest of all time at whatever it is they do. Arguably, yes.
Nobody can argue about this with me,
We're not
man.
going to have to argue about this episode. Today, I'm here with Mr. Grant Cardone. Welcome to the show, man.
Always good to be with you.
Man, I'm so excited about this because
you love sales.
I love sales.
Because you know that a company, that's what a company depends on.
It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you can't even practice all the other cool stuff. So you are the sales GOAT. Okay, the sales training GOAT, I should say, because look at all this stuff. You've got this book. I was reading in the lobby, waiting for you to call me in, right?
You've never seen this, right?
Never seen this. I didn't even know this. I've seen these. I've read these.
Yeah.
So for those of you guys who haven't read it, Closer Survival Guide's awesome. Sell or Be Sold. This is probably my favorite one of all yours. This one's really good.
I agree with that, by the way.
Yeah. This one's great. I did this one on Audible. Actually, I did both of these on Audible.
Yeah.
These are really good.
Those are for maniacs.
By the way, do you know that you on 2x speed and Audible sound crazy?
Oh, yeah.
But it's exciting to, you get used to it. But on 2x speed, it's fast. And then this right here, the Millionaire Booklet, I got through this book in about half hour.
Yeah.
But it was a good read, all good stuff. I don't know how many manuals you have from your sales boot camps that you do when you go in and help other companies out. So guys, like, if you look at all this stuff, this guy's dedicated so much of his life to helping people develop their sales process or sales teams. And so that's what we're going to be talking a lot about today. Not just how you individually can be a better salesperson, but also how you can build a sales force to help your company really 10x.
Yeah.
Right?
And the reason for all the products is, like, some people will not read a book if it's got a cover on it. Like, they're like, that's a book, reminds me of school and a textbook. And so some of these other things that we do, like the way they're built is more appealing to people to learn and study. So we've had big companies that might be on Sell or Be Sold and had the book, and the CEO bought the book. And then he's like, hey, can you teach this course? Well, you wouldn't teach from that book. You would go to one of these other workbooks, and we would teach and have manuals and drills, and people practice, because it is what you practice.
Right.
If you practice being an introvert, you're going to be an introvert. If you practice extroverting, you're going to be an extrovert. But neither one of those would make you a good salesperson. So it's like, hey, how do I ask the right questions? How do I greet a customer? How do I build rapport? Those things can be practiced and learned. Even how to negotiate, how to close, how to follow up. All those are skill sets. Much like a ball player he would practice foul shots, 3-point shot. He would practice a layup. But they're different skills, and different guys and gals have different strengths depending on how much they practice.
And just like you can, let's say you're shooting a foul shot the wrong way, you can start developing habits and get better at shooting it the wrong way. But in sales, there's a lot of people that they're not practicing the right way to do it, so they're basically working on and practicing the wrong ways to do it, and they're getting worse as salespeople. Because instinctively they're continuously saying the wrong stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because most people are trained by, what I've noticed, most people are trained by the people that have tried to sell them as consumers, right? And so, okay, that's how you close them. That's how you close them. And they never really had any formal sales training. I don't know if there's a college that has a degree for it.
The bigger issue is that most people are actually, the first education we get about sales is that it's somehow some bad thing. Like if you ask people, what do you not like about salespeople? The first answer you're going to get is probably, well, I don't like high pressure. I don't like a lot of pressure.
You're pushy.
I don't like pushy salespeople. But the truth is, most of us never actually meet that person.
Right.
You very rarely ever meet a pushy or aggressive or a high pressure salesperson. What you typically meet, and before everybody disagrees with me, what you typically meet is somebody that doesn't even address you, won't talk to you, won't give you attention. Go to Sears, go to Macy's, go to Bloomingdale's, go to Taco Bell, go to McDonald's. Most of the time you walk in, nobody even says you're there. Right. Go to the acai bowl place. Go to the footwear locker room. Wherever. Most of the time when you walk in a room, nobody even says, "Hey, how you doing? What can I get? Right. So you don't even get a greeting. But most people will tell you, "I don't like pushy." Right. When the truth is, you don't even get. Like the individual is not even playing their role, and that happens at companies too.
Right, and the best salespeople, they're not that pushy. In fact, it's the opposite. I've seen the best salespeople, and my salesperson at my company is fantastic. Yeah. She's incredible. She's gotten 400 or 500 sales, I think, in the last 18 months at $1,000 a pop. Right, it's been incredible for our company. A month. Right.
Wow.
And so, but what I've noticed with her is she's very aggressive, persistent maybe is a better word, right? Yeah. She's persistent and she really listens, but she gets 3 to 5 referrals a day.
Yeah.
So for the person that's afraid to be pushy, imagine how good that salesperson is, where that person's getting in referrals. That's not a person that was pushed into a sale. Yeah. That's a person that's happy that they were sold.
Look, the goal should not be to sell your product. The goal should be the person you're selling to should want to hire you.
Right.
So I bet she gets asked a lot, God, I wish I had a bunch like you.
Yeah, all the time. She's always getting recruited.
Yeah, and so in the beginning, like when you get really good at sales, people will start complimenting you. Mm-hmm. When you become a GOAT, when you become the master, nobody's going to ask to, nobody comes to me and says, we want you to come live at our company.
Right.
They know I'm not hireable at that point. So if you're a GOAT, they know they can't hire you. They just want to pay you. Below that is the person that's like, I want to hire you. She probably gets a lot of offers.
Yeah.
Why don't you come work for me? And then below that, it's like, boy, I wish I had a bunch of people like you.
Right.
So that really should be, if they're saying, hey, I wish I had people like you, where can I find people like you? If they're doing that, they're probably buying your product or your service.
All right, so let's talk about that, because I think one thing that I hear a lot is, I don't know where to find great salespeople. Yeah. Now, I don't think they're really applying for jobs on Craigslist, the GOATs, the great salespeople. Yeah. So let's say you wanted to get 20 awesome salespeople in here, right? Where do you start?
Bring you to my back room.
So
right now. I'll show
let's
you 20.
show the B-roll right now of the back room.
20.
So this is your back room right now. We're taking a look at it. So you got, how many salespeople do you have back here?
So I don't know what we have back here right now. What's back there right now, Johnny? I don't know. I could use another 40.
Well,
just so you know,
careers
at grantcardone.com. Do not send me a resume. We will not look at your lies. Send me a 30-second video and give me your pitch. Why you? Why are you willing to move? What can you do for me? Do you have a pipeline? That's the first thing I'm going to ask somebody. Hey, you have a pipeline? I'm not going to ask you if you have experience. I don't need your experience. I need a pipeline.
Somebody that's already got a little bit of a book.
Are you in the space? Do you have a lead? Do you know somebody that we can talk to, right? That's more valuable to me than a skill set. Now, on the skill set, what I'm looking for is not Look, the skills can be taught. You go back there and interview any of those people.
Material.
You can interview, yeah, exactly. You interview Mike Bonnet, completely different personality than Steve Spray. So you meet these guys, put them in the deal, and then Natasha's different than Steve Spray. Natasha's different than Heath. They're all different people. Like Heath was a outside salesperson, came out of the Marines. He got taught how to cold call companies. We took him off the road. He had a lot of bad habits from that. He was dependent upon face-to-face.
Right.
So we had to break him of that. I had to show him that he could actually be on a phone, and because that's what was required for him to be able to have a family. You can't be on the road every day of the year and have a family.
No.
So you're a gypsy.
Right.
Good if you're a gypsy,
right?
If you want the gypsy lifestyle, right? But for most people, it's not conducive with a really normal, healthy, community, sense of community.
And you can't maximize your potential either, because you don't have that same amount of opportunities as if you could just be on the call.
I can be in front of a lot more people with a phone, right? Now, I got an internet department out here in front. Now, the 40 people, they don't know what a phone is. They think a phone is like the devil's instrument, right. And that it's a poison or a bad drug or something. Like they need to learn how to pick up a phone, because they become dependent upon a computer. I happen to have the what am I? I'm the trifecta. What am I? The three things. The
hat trick.
The hat trick, or no, not the tripod, but in the movie business, if you can dance, comedy, and act, what are you?
I would say
triple threat, dude. You're the triple threat. I'm the triple threat. See, I can do the door-to-door, I can do the phone, and I can do the computer.
Okay.
I think with all of them, to me, they're not any different. And this is where I think internet people get stuck. I'm really answering your question about the executive trying to hire people. You got the phones. A lot of you don't even believe in phones. You think the cold calling's dead. You think that ad online is real. Mm-hmm. Cold calling's not dead. We're going to do $40 million out of there. Cold calls. We do not know the people. We don't know who's in charge there. They've never talked to us. Most of them do not know me. It's a cold call. Right. And we'll do $35, $40 million out of that back room.
In what time frame?
This year.
This year?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that front room,
call system.
Cold calls. This front room will do another 40 million off the internet, okay? And then we'll probably do another 20 million door to door.
Do you guys do door to door as well?
We still do door to door. Okay. I still anytime I go to a city, if you see me fly to Toronto, I guarantee I'm banging on somebody's door while I'm there. Somebody's going to see Grant show up in their fireplace.
If you're in Scottsdale, bang on Loud Rumor's door. Come on in.
I'll be banging. I'll be banging with a credit card machine ready to roll, or hit my phone and trade me some Bitcoin. So the point is, like to me, it's a stool, right? The guy trying to hire people, you need to quit saying you can't find good people. Right. You need to look for good people. And by the way, you need to look for good people before you need people. You should be hiring people all the time.
Interviewing no matter what.
As soon as you brought it up, careers@grantcardone.com, careers@grantcardone.com, careers@grantcardone.com. Send me a 30-second video. I don't want to see your resume because I don't want to see your lies. Right. What I want to see is, how do you present yourself? Right. What can you do for me? Right. I don't want to look at a resume and then I can't have enough good salespeople. So the executive needs to understand you should be hiring constantly. You should always be expanding for new salespeople. You want to put the threat to your office that you're expanding and not dependent upon one or two great guys back there. We lost a guy 6 or 7 months ago. He thought he was the Mac Daddy here. Right. The next month, it was like he wasn't even here. We didn't miss him. My income went up, not down. So if you think you're the GOAT at your joint, and you take off 30 days and the income of the company goes up, you ain't the GOAT. Right. Okay? The GOAT, if I leave the company's out of business. Right. Okay? So like my last job working for somebody, when I left, the last two jobs actually, I left a guy when I was 29. His business folded 6 months later. Mm-hmm. I left another guy when I was 31, and he just got decimated.
It's like when LeBron leaves the Heat, right?
When they left the Heat, they couldn't win the ring. Right. So you want to be that good, because when you're that good, we're not talking about money now. We're commissions. Mm-hmm. We're talking about financial freedom. Because when you're that good, and all the salespeople out there, you should have the target of the guy that owns the business. You want to literally flip that thing. You don't need to own the business, but he would be dependent upon you in some form, right? You become very like a treasure. Right. So always be looking for salespeople. Know that there are good people out there. Okay.
Where are you looking from? Obviously, you have this platform where you can just scream it out. But let's say the guy out there.
Everywhere I go.
Everywhere you go.
I'm looking at your team right now. None of these.
Well, they're not salespeople.
Well, but they are. A lot of people aren't sales. I wasn't a salesperson until I was one. Like when I started in sales, I hated it. The thing that was holding me back from being a good salesperson, I had 5 sales jobs before I fell in love with sales. I had 5 jobs and I hated every one of them. I was terrible at it. And the job that I actually got good at, I didn't like that job until I got good at it. I think we talked about this in Malibu. Like if you don't like what you're doing, it's because you're no good at it.
Right.
So people like whatever it is you're no good at, you're not going to be excited about.
Yeah, I think you mentioned like if you're good at singing, you're not going to not like it.
If you're good at singing, you're going to like singing.
Right.
And you're gonna want to sing. Like if you're good at gift wrapping, like my sister, she's a great gift wrapper. So every
she looks
Christmas,
for opportunities.
She cannot wait to do somebody's presents.
Right.
I can't get the tape right. I don't know how to do the curl. So I'm not good at it. So I don't. Right. People are not lazy.
Right.
Any more than, by the way, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, there's lazy people. Lazy people. Those people are not lazy. They are avoiding the things they're no good at. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a survival mechanism. Why would I want to do something I'm not good at? So you're probably not even an introvert.
Yeah, because that lazy person gets good at Grand Theft Auto. He'll play for 2 days straight without sleeping. Exactly.
And by the way, the introvert that sits on his beanie bag and he's playing for 2 days Grand Theft Auto, he's not introverted at that moment. He's extroverted into that game, right?
And you can't wait to talk about it if you meet someone that knows about it.
Hey, look at this trick. Look at this gimmick. Right. Look at this hack, right? So the excitement comes up. Everything changes. So
now let's say I say to you, okay, Grant, I got 2 salespeople right now. Yeah. I want to turn that into 20. Yeah. I got it. I'm going to look everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read all your books so I understand sales myself so I can recognize it.
Good. That's a good point.
But now let's talk about...
the executive needs to love sales.
You need to understand it and appreciate it.
The number one department in this company is sales. Mm-hmm. It gets all best parking spots. It gets everything. Mm-hmm. Like everybody here knows that the sales department is the revered department in the company. Mm-hmm. If you want to move up here, you're moving up to the sales department. Mm-hmm. If you want a bonus, you're moving into the revenue. Mm-hmm. If you want more money, like we just gave out Christmas bonuses and Sherry was going, I said, Sherry, I'm not doing that. That's a bonus. That's too much for a Christmas present. Nobody gives anybody a Christmas present that big. That's a bonus number. Mm-hmm. Those are $50 a Christmas present. $25 a Christmas present. $5,000 is a damn bonus. Mm-hmm. And by the way, we don't give a bonus because you stayed here. You got to stay somewhere.
Right.
You don't get a bonus for living longer on this planet.
Right.
It gets harder, not easier.
Right.
So just because you've been around don't mean you should get a bonus. This is that entitlement stuff that we do, right? So I'm like, look, if they earned it, give them a bonus. Mm-hmm. And that way everybody knows what to go for. So
let's talk about earned it.
Yeah.
So I'll tie that to it.
Yeah. So revenue, earnings, income, sales, leads, anything that brings in something that can help expand the company. Like if you work here and you can't bring me one lead, we have books, audio programs. I got a ticket this morning. I gave the cop a millionaire booklet. Right? Like you can't get a lead with all the stuff that I have.
Right.
You're walking around with this. You don't know somebody. The accounting department doesn't know somebody that doesn't have a sales department or a struggle with income or a problem with motivation. You can't give a book or a sticker out.
Yeah, you can't work here and not get better at sales. It's a choice. It's like the trainer, or it's like the person that works at a gym and can't get in shape.
Yeah, exactly.
You're literally in the spot.
Or a person that works at a gym and never brings a lead in. Like the person that works in the gym, even though you're not the salesperson, you're in accounting, you're in shipping. Mm-hmm. My shipping department back there, I'm like, hey, you got a lead for me, dude? You can't tell me you're shipping shit to people every single day. Thousands of packages go out of here, right? You talk to the UPS guy every day. Yesterday, UPS guy came and picked up a bunch of, hey, my name's Grant Cardone, man, you got any of my books? Like, why are you not making that connection? So that's what I want in the I'm not looking for salespeople. I'm looking for employees. I'm looking for talent, and then I look for heart. And then I teach people, no, you need to go up and tell your grandmother, your aunt, your mom, your dad about who you work for, what we do here, and how we help people, and who do they know.
Okay. So now, when it comes to your floor, because you got a floor, and you already told me you broke it up into 3 sections. You got the door knockers, you got the phones, and then you got the internet. Do you break it up in other levels as well, where you're like, okay, we got closers, we have sales developers, people that will do the follow-ups and all that?
We do have some of that. We have, like, you'll meet Todd back there. He's listening to calls. Okay. So they're mid a call. He can listen on an open line.
Does he jump in?
He can jump right in.
If he feels like they're struggling or they're missing an opportunity?
He should jump in.
Okay.
Right? He should jump in even if they're not struggling.
Okay.
So I jump in on a lot of calls. Like one of the things we do here is I don't do the calls, but what I'll do is at the end of the day, they'll bring me a phone and I'll start doing a bunch of video follow-up. Hey, Mike, Grant Cardone. No, you talked to Mike Bonnet today. Anything I can do for you, let me know. I'm here to support you through next year.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of that follow-up stuff.
So you guys
John,
know,
grab the follow-up program, the whole book on the follow-up.
So you guys know that are watching and listening, he's not just saying this because it sounds like good content. He actually did it to me. I don't even know if you remember doing it.
I don't.
I'll tell you. So we were in Malibu. We just finished hanging out. I was on my way out, and I said, "Hey, man, this is really great." And what I said was, if you were me and you wanted to spend more time with a guy like you, how would you approach that situation? You said, "Want to come to St. Bart's with me?"
Right.
And I said,
he hooked up right away. By the way, that tells you the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
A lot of guys all talk and no do.
Yeah. No, we did it, and now I'm going to your sales boot camp, and we're doing your growth con and all that stuff, right? But you pitched it to me. And then I said, "Yeah, how much does it cost?" And you were like, 25 grand. You just stared me right in the eye. I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I mean, I figured if you charge that, I'm going to make my money back somehow.
Yeah.
And what's great?
You're going to get around other people that got 25 grand. I mean, that by itself. A guy told me this morning, he's like, I looked at your 10X growth conference and the tickets are like 15 grand for the front rows. He's like, nobody's worth 15 grand. And my response to him was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because he's not talking about me. He's saying he's not worth 15 grand, right? So you're the right kind of guy. You're like, you believe you're worth 25,000. And this is a lot of salespeople suffer from this concept. Are these mine or yours?
Those are not mine.
Okay.
So I don't know.
So, you go to a store and you see the Persols for 300 and you're like, those aren't worth 300. Dude, you're right. What you're really saying is, and a reason why a lot of salespeople can't sell their own products is they think $300 is a lot of money. I know, because I was brought up like this. I was brought up to believe the best deal was the cheaper price. I'm going to lose them anyway. I'm going to scratch them. So why not just get some for 15? That's your parents training you.
Right.
Rather than your parents saying, hey, there's unlimited amounts of money here. You're not paying for these sunglasses. Somebody else is. All I got to do is get Mike to buy a product from me, and I can buy and lose and scratch as many of these pairs as I want as long as I can keep replacing that, right? So
it's not about the glasses being worth 300. It's about you being worth 300.
I'm worth 300.
Right.
Because this is just made up. These aren't worth $30. They're not worth $3. They're not worth anything until you want to look all cool, And then you're like, dang, man. And you get one compliment, man. Those shades look good on you, man, right? So it's like, yeah, they're not worth 300.
Right.
I agree with that. But here's the problem. If you're selling Persols and you won't pay 300, you'll never sell them for 300.
Right.
You'll never do it. If you're selling a BMW for 80,000 and you won't buy that car for 80 grand and you won't do the 96-month financing or the lease or whatever, and you won't pay the $1,100 a month, you're going to have trouble selling it.
So do you think one of the most important things for the CEO or the sales manager to do, whoever's leading that sales team, the first thing to do is really sell that team on how amazing these products are?
Or let's find out more before I would try to sell them on it. I would try to see how they think first.
Okay.
Hey, when you buy something, how long do you shop for it? Well, I don't know. Well, you bought some clothes. How'd you buy your clothes?
All right.
Well, I went down to Macy's and I tried them on. That's how he buys things. However you do things is how you're going to sell things. Well, how'd you buy your house? Well, I went and bought my house. How long did it take? Or my car. Your last car, how'd you buy it? It's probably an easier example. Well, I shopped 17 different car dealerships, Or when's the last time you spent some money? Man, I hadn't spent money in 2 years. Dude, I would never hire somebody that hadn't spent money in 2 years.
Right.
Like the scarcity problem. Because if you're operating out of scarcity, you will sell out of scarcity.
Right.
So every time Mike says, man, 25 grand, that's a lot of money. The reason when you told me that, I'm looking you in the eye, 25,000, man, for those tickets. I'll be there 5 days. It's going to be an awesome time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking at him because the reason I could keep looking at him and not drop my head or feel bad about it.
Because you're worth it.
Because I've spent 25 grand on a trip.
All right.
I know what I spent in Malibu. The more times I spend money like that on my own education, the better able I am. Like buying this thing helped me a lot, man.
Yeah.
Before it even helped me get to people. The fact that you can write a check for $10 million and say, okay, I got to go replace that money now, you start believing in yourself. So I'm not encouraging salespeople to get into debt, but don't go into getting debt. It's not going to make you a better salesperson. You're not going to be any better. Right. But it is going to change the way you think about things. Like if you're selling a product, if you're selling, let's say, massages.
Right.
Dude, don't get a deal from your massage sister or partner. You know, if you want $150 for your massage, pay somebody $150 to get a massage. So I can tell Mike, it's $150. Man, that's a lot of money for. Yeah, I know. I say the same thing, and I get one every week. Right. I get one every week, man. And you know what? Once I get it, I'm like, you know what? That was really worth it.
It's a good point.
You deserve it. You earn it. You know, and so because I did it. Right. So that's why it's so important for people, whatever they're selling. If you're selling this, it's important for you to buy this. Mm-hmm. Right? So you can say, this book's $149. Right. They're like, why would I want this for $149? Because it's got every rebuttal to every objection you've ever had.
Which, by the way, it does. I was reading it in the lobby.
Sick, man.
And it's actually broken up. So like this one is here is, hold on, there was, think about it. So the think about it one is one that tons of people get. Yeah. Payments are too high. Yeah. I want to guarantee.
Spouse close.
And you don't have one rebuttal for each one.
Because there's different personalities. Different people like different things, right? So I need to talk to my wife. I understand. I appreciate you want to talk to your wife. I talk to my wife about everything. Do you guys talk about everything all the time? Oh, yeah. Well, then you talked to her before you came here. She knows you're looking. She probably knows where you are right now. When's the last time you texted her?
All right.
She knows what we're doing. That's a stall, by the way. That's not an objection. That's a stall. So you can just, like anything, if I remember when I first started hearing rap music, and I hated it. My brother gave me Eminem's deal. You know, I was like, dude, I couldn't understand what he was saying.
Right.
You listen to it long enough.
Right.
You know, and you're like, dude, that guy's he's genius. I went from I hate this to wow, that's genius. Right. Because I heard it enough times to understand what the rhythm, the rhyme, and the lyric was, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with sales.
And a lot of people are going to read this, maybe not the CEOs, you know, because I think enough of them have failed enough times to realize maybe they don't know everything. And obviously there's real successful CEOs and there's everybody else. But when you take your salespeople, some are going to look at this and say, I can't say that.
Yeah.
I can't say this. But then you just got to get them to say it like a couple times.
Yeah, you just role play it. That's the difference between a book and a manual, right? This is designed for people to use exercises, to take the foul shots. There's a story about Michael Jordan. Tim Grover told me this story about Jordan. Jordan was Jackson. Phil Jackson brought in a meditator, not a mediator, but a meditator. And he's like, "Hey guys, we're going to meditate." Jackson was into all this new, yeah. He's like, "We're all going to meditate and get in the vibe." And Jordan wouldn't do the deal. He's like, "I don't need to meditate. I'm going to be over here taking foul shots." He's just sitting there doing shots. While they're meditating, he's doing shots. This was his form of practice and meditation and confidence building, right? So too many salespeople never practice. Most of them never read a book. The CEO doesn't require it. This is the problem with the upper management. Like before somebody starts trying to hire people, you got to believe in sales as a department, division, and part of the company, that the survival of the company is dependent upon this thing. Right? So you feel good about it. So it's not just like, yeah, it's a sales department.
Okay.
Or the treasury or finance department has a stronger role in the company than the salespeople.
Right.
You know, like they're like, we don't want to pay those bonuses out to a sales guy because she doesn't understand what it takes. She's in that back office, right? So the CEO, the upper management, y'all need to love salespeople. Before you try to hire them, you need to love them. You need to love them. You need to think they're important. You need to treasure them, right? Because without them, you love them. It's obvious you love them. Right. You love this topic.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite topic right now. I will probably do 2 or 3 of these if Grant lets me back in here. We'll see over the next couple of years.
So because other people are like, I'm not going to train my people. I'm not going to educate them. I'm not going to buy a book for them. I'm just going to, my job's to get leads and market and let them destroy the leads and then go through people. And the next thing you know, you're a company with 2 salespeople, 2 weak ones that you're dependent upon. You don't want them to go away. You don't want to hire new people. And now you're in this what have I done here? Right. Almost 2/3 of all companies in America have no employees. 22 million out of 28 million, no employees. They didn't start like that.
Solopreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. They basically said, I'm going to expand, started expanding. Somebody said more's not better. And the next thing you know, they don't have any employees. Everything's dependent upon them and they can't make sales.
So let's talk about, you talk about the parking spaces and the bonuses and all that. Let's really talk about how you pay salespeople.
Yeah.
So obviously it sounds like you pay them well, but how? So do you do a base or do you do commission only? Do you do a little bit of base?
We do both.
We do both. Let's say not necessarily me, but a guy like me that wants to come in has got, let's say, he doesn't have a book.
Yeah.
But he's
a book of business.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have a book, but you like everything else.
And we're like, okay. And he drives from Indiana over here,
right.
which we got that guy back there. And he's going to get a base. He's probably going to get $3,000 a month. Very tough to live in Miami on $3,000 a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's going to get a book of business, and he's going to come in here, and he's going to be expected to show up early, stay late, work weekends. I tell these guys, look, if you don't have your money right and you're not here Saturday and Sundays, something wrong with you.
Now, with the commissions, what do you think he can make?
Well, I got guys back there making, Bonnet will make almost $1 million this year.
Really?
You should interview Bonnet. He's a complete maniac.
We'll interview him.
You would think he'd never be a salesperson.
Really?
I'm Mike Bonnet. You got to talk to him, okay? Then there's Heath, the Heath, the redneck. He's going to probably make $300,000, $400,000. These guys are on the phone. They're never in front of customers.
Right.
So now the internet department, which again, you see, like when you think about sales, you think about the guys in the back. Mm-hmm. My advantage is I don't think they're any different. These guys out here, I had to teach about money. Mm-hmm. Like if I was writing my books again, I would write this book first.
Okay.
And the sales book second. Most salespeople's biggest problem is they're not money motivated. The guy making $120,000 a year is not correctly money motivated. The top performers in companies. I mean, I did a gig for a group. The average performer in the room was making $980 a year, and I said, your problem, guys. You people. It was all men in the room. I said, your problem is you guys are not money motivated. Mm-hmm. And they're like, what do you mean, man? They're like, the average person makes $980. I said, you guys are not correctly, properly money motivated. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I don't know how you live on $980,000 a year. How do you feel good about your damn self? How do you go home and look? When there's an opportunity, because there's $4 and $5 million operators in the room, right? That were making $5 million a year.
Right.
How do you feel good when you know you could make $5 and you stopped at $980? Mm-hmm. So they're not correctly motivated. That was the problem in the internet department. So I had to start giving them bonuses. I had to get them addicted to winning, to what it feels like to get the victory, to what it feels like to get the bonus because you hit a target, okay? To exceed a target that we'd already achieved, to feel like you're winning. Now those guys are junking out on it. Like they come in on their own, they're like, damn, we could make a lot of money.
And you can't go back.
It's hard to go back once you start making some bread.
So let's say a guy that makes $1 million here, a salesperson, what kind of business he brought in dollar-wise for you?
Jared would know that better than I would, but our deal's a little, we're selling long-term contracts, so they start stacking.
Right.
I'm not sure what the answer to that question is.
10x?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he has to make that 10 million to be paid $1 million.
Wow.
Ask Jared. Jared knows.
We're going to have to ask Jared.
I stay out of the minutia. This is what I know. I need to get bigger.
Right.
I don't make anything, like I would rather a smaller margin. Mm-hmm. My target here is to get, I want everybody to have my material. Okay. So I don't care if you have a penny, $1 or $10 or $100. I want you just to have my products. So we have my job as an executive is to have expensive products with big margins and come all the way down to zero.
What time do your salespeople start their day?
They're here at, most of those guys are here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Until?
Meetings at 9:06. They're here till 6. And I tell them, look, if you're here on time and you leave on time, you're not even in the game. Mm-hmm. I watch these guys every night when they're leaving. They're leaving at 6 o'clock. Okay, they're not committed.
Right.
So I don't leave at 6.
Right.
Why is it the people with all the dough are the first ones to show? Mm-hmm. So go hang around some rich people. They're up early. They stay late. They look at it all the time. So, like you just got to decide who you're going to study. I hear a lot of people say, man, you got to take off. Who told you got to take off?
Right.
You need time off. You need to enjoy your family. Saturdays and Sundays are for the family. I spend more time with my wife and my kids than 99% of the people, but I also work probably.
When do you work that in? How do you work that in?
I took my kids to school this morning.
Okay.
I drove them to school. I had somebody who could drive them to school. I'm like, I'm taking them to school.
Yeah.
Spend time with them. We play games all the way over there. I drop them off, and I come to the first meeting at 9:06 this morning. Yeah. So, look, you got to make a commitment. You got to make a commitment. You make a commitment, and the rest is going to start falling in place.
Now, that's the commitment to put the work in. But like we talked about, they've also got to get better. If they can get better, with all this, all the time that they put in, they get a lot better. So how much time do you tell your salespeople to dedicate to the learning?
Their job is to train every day. We have them on an online platform, Cardone University.
Okay.
I don't train my people.
Okay.
That platform trains them.
Okay.
So I don't spend time training. What I do is I spend time inspiring. And then the training mechanism, Cardone University, is where they go to get training.
Okay, so that's just CardoneUniversity.com?
Yeah, CardoneUniversity.com. Okay. They go on, they log on, it's under their name. I can see how many courses they're doing, what they're looking at. They pass, they fail. We know who's using it, who's not. They can use it in their car, their phone, the tablet, a computer, from home with their kids. So we want them drinking the Kool-Aid, but I can't make them drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
What I can do is reward them once they get the results.
And give them the
while
tools.
I'm hiring more people, because I'm not going to be dependent upon one of these guys.
Right.
One of these guys blows out, they get a bad attitude, they become a damn diva.
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to become. I didn't start this business to become dependent upon one salesperson, and that's the problem with most small business owners. They're so cheap. Code for scared.
Right.
Cheap is a code for scared.
Right.
Lazy is a code for I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I'm lazy. I'm no good at this. That's why I'm lazy. I don't like something is code for I don't know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Right? So the cheap executive is basically code for I'm scared. I am scared to spend money on people because I don't think it's going to work. We're not going to sell a product.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, hey, listen, I know we got to wrap up, but
where we at, guys? What, you got a problem with the next show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
God damn, Mike's so good. He asked so many good questions, man. You got to come back, dude. You got to come back,
man. So, guys, you can see why we wanted to sit down with Grant. We could have gone for another couple hours. I mean, I could dig into. There's so much here, and this is my favorite book, but this one's a close second. All of them are real good.
This is a book. You can't finish this book. It's impossible to finish that book. That's the book you don't finish.
Why do you say that?
Because
it's a textbook.
Well, no, it's a situational book, right? It gives you situations, so you're always going to be walking through it, using it. These other books that you can read, like these aren't sales books right here. Mm-hmm. If you're not first, you're last, which is the only book that's not here, that's the best sales book I ever wrote.
If you're not first, you're last. So that one I got to read.
Make sure he gets a copy, John.
Yeah, I got to read that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one, there's a lot of books like this, like Scaling Up, that you always kind of go back to, and that is, you're right, 100% true. This one right here is a storybook. Not a storybook, but you can go from page 1 to all the way to the end of it and read through.
That first book is the book that really took me out of the recession, took me out of the 2008. Yeah, Sell or Be Sold. Cool. That's the book that took me out. And then what I was going to say was some people just don't like to read. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not. If I'm going to read, I need to read it quick because I'm going to lose interest. Right. So I either need to read something really quick or I need to listen to the audio. So we actually sell more audio. I read all my audio. All my books are read by me. Yeah. And they outsell the books by about 4 to 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I told you I listened to the 2x speed.
Yeah.
But guys, get his stuff. He's really great. There's a reason he's on the show. This book, which is awesome. I didn't even know you had written this one. I didn't know you wrote all these.
Yeah, show them the other ones, just so because a lot of people think they have all my stuff. A guy told me
this one's in Taiwanese.
Yeah.
For all you Taiwanese people.
Guy told me the other day, I got all your stuff. I said, I'll give you $1,000 if you got all my stuff.
Secrets to closing the sale.
What card am I
20
thinking
rules
of right now?
Closing a deal. 10 mistakes that'll kill your deals. Tired of missing sales. How to fill a pipeline with cold prospecting, so it's cold calling. And then this monster.
This is a boot camp that we're doing our boot camp. Our next boot camp is March.
Right. So we'll make sure we get this episode out for you guys in time.
He bought me some shoes. Look at my shoes coming in, my 10X kicks, huh? Ty?
10X kicks. These are worth more than $2,000 Yeezys or whatever.
No shoes are worth $2,000, folks. That's just dumb.
And we got the 10X Grant.
Bring me my 10X Grant, okay? I need to fly you in the next time we do this, okay? look at this. He made me with my. This is the proper one though. This one they forgot the cigar.
You gotta have the cigar and the glasses.
Gotta have the cigar,
so
right?
We'll
and he's got the hair's peppered.
Here, put the glasses on right now, and let's stand next to this guy. I wish we had a cigar, but it's all right. That's pretty spot on. That's pretty good. Man, Grant, thanks so much, dude.
Greatest of all time, baby.
Greatest of all time. Thanks, man. I can't wait for all the events you have coming up. I'm going to all of them. Guys, thanks so much for watching, for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever your favorite place to listen to podcasts might be. And if you really like this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.